Okay, so Steve, we're going to ask you to walk us around Fenway here, and appropriate, my first time at Fenway, I'm here to see a hockey game, and I'm here to see really beautiful looking Bruins outfits. Elliotte, these are gorgeous. Elliotte's rolling his eyes already. He's heard me talk hockey fashion enough, but I don't know if this is your decision, this is a Jennings decision, how does this look come together?
So you mentioned Brian Jennings. His team, they sit down with the Bruins and they go over, along with Adidas, they go over designs for these outdoor games. It's done immediately. Once we know the teams that are being played, it's the first thing we really do. Because out of that comes the team logo. And then out of the team logo actually comes all the field design and the look and the colors that surround Fenway Park. So we start with that, and then everything works from that. But I agree with you. These are good-looking unis.
I mean, I love this ballpark.
Yeah, it's great.
So when you first step out onto Fenway Park, I mean, I first think of 2004, like the Red Sox finally breaking the curse, but you're thinking hockey. Like, how are we going to put this show on?
So there's two things this year. One, we've been here before. So I wasn't here with the league at that time, but how are we going to make it different? And then the baby behind me, that green monster, which is so iconic, not only here, but everywhere. Like, you know, it's a sports landmark. And to me, the coolest thing about this place is that, and how do we incorporate it in a really significant way? So if you guys know, when we do games in baseball stadiums, we actually have the rink orientation from first base to third base.
Yep.
And we touch the pitcher's mound. So we're pretty far in the outfield. We're actually a little in center field. So first thing I asked the question, like, what if we went from second base to third base so we go parallel to the wall? And then we did a study immediately to see, like, okay, these seats, are we making them worse or are we making them better? We actually think we made them better. We brought the rink a lot closer to the seats, and there's some really good sight lines here. And so I think that's really different, and it might be the way we go now from in every baseball stadium. We really like what it gave us, and the whole outfield, we have room to design other things. But this is a really cool place. Like, you feel the history when you walk in here. You know, you got to come back for a baseball game.
I do.
You really do.
I really do.
It's an experience, and you know, I think tomorrow's going to be, the Winter Classic will be really outstanding.
Is there anything they told you can't do? Can't do this?
No. You know, and there are some places that we have some limitations. There are. But here, no.
Hang on, did you ask if you could try to shoot pucks over the monster?
You'll see tomorrow. We're gonna do a few things during the game. Very interactive. One of the things also, and you've seen this in our games, we've become, you know, not only a pregame show and an intermission show, but an all-game show. Yeah. So all during the day, we're gonna do some things. We're gonna have some fun. We've got an aux rink that's shaped like a baseball diamond, so we might as well do a home run derby at some point. Awesome. Yeah. So we'll have some fun. They're really, you know, for the most part, I think the teams in the ballparks we play in, they lean into some of the ideas, and they want us to have fun, and they want to figure out what is that attachment between hockey and their sport. And here, they were totally all in.
You know, you mentioned you weren't here the last time that the NHL, you weren't with the NHL the last time the Winter Classic was here. What do you recall from watching outdoor games? Like, what do you remember saying to yourself? Like, okay, this is wonderful, but...
No, you know, it wasn't really but. You know, one of the things I always remembered when I wasn't with the league was being at home on my couch, like every fan, and starting to, you know, click through all the channels of what was on. And these games just caught your eye. Like, again, I don't care whether you're a hockey fan. Yeah. If you're a sports fan, this is different. It's unique. And so how do you capture that, especially in this day and age? Like, how do we continue to do that with like a wow when people are just turning the channel, football, basketball. Whoa, that must be an outdoor game. That's cool. I'm leaning in. I'm going to watch it. And that's what I remember the early days of the Winter Classic. When I was like turning the channels, it caught my eye. And this one in particular, I just thought it, premier teams, again, Fenway Park, and remember those first few games were in really iconic places. That's my memory. We went back, we watched that game again, our whole team. We wanted to look and see what was done then, not to not replicate what was done, just to see like flow and what worked and what didn't. And, again, we're going to do things at this Winter Classic that I think will be memorable and fun. And it's a great place to put on a show.
All right, the show. It's the hockey and it's the show. Black Keys?
Black Keys, first intermission, about a 10-minute set. We're going to show you as we do our walk another stage and another Boston iconic organization, the Boston Pops. So the Boston Pops Orchestra, 72 strong, will be performing all throughout the game. That's our house band.
So they're going to be sitting out here all game?
The whole game. They're sitting out there. Every time we take a break, rather than playing, DJ music, we're going to the Boston Pops. They're going to be part of the opening with the players' introductions and the Star Spangled Banner, and they're going to join the Black Keys for the first intermission. So it's like really cool, very different, very unique. It's become a big part of these games, the sort of the music, the presentation, the entertainment. So I have to admit, I had the pleasure in my past life of producing the Boston Pops 4th of July on CBS. So I got to know them really well. In this city, they're rock stars. Keith Lockhart is their conductor, super cool. And they connect orchestra music and pop music. So I think it works. I think it's going to be really different. Sound huge. I mean, it's a full-blown orchestra, and I think it's something we've never done before. And we're going to give it a try. But here it works.
Yes.
Like this place, we're going to do Sweet Caroline. We're going to do Shipping Up to Boston. Sing along songs throughout. And when they're singing along to an orchestra, I think the fans will get a kick out of it.
Yeah. I think that's super cool. I do want to stick with the theme of sound here.
Yeah, sure.
Elliotte and I did about 10 or 15 minutes on the podcast a couple of months ago about hockey sounds and our favorite hockey sounds. To me, it's the crossbar. Yep. Also, the blades, the blades digging into the ice. Yep. And in a traditional hockey arena, doesn't matter where you are, you can hear that. This is a little more spread out. You're way in the back. How do you make sure that I can hear crossbars if I'm last seat at the top of Fenway here, or I can hear blades in the ice?
So this is nothing against the sound system at Fenway or the sound system anywhere. We just have felt, to your point, like the sounds of hockey are so unique. And, again, in a big stadium, we want to make everything feel big. So you'll see as you look around this entire arena or stadium, we've installed 12 speaker banks. All the audio is produced by the league. We've got mics everywhere on that rink, and we've brought our own audio in. And I have to admit, we pump it. Like, we want you to feel like you're in the game. Yeah. Lean in. And we felt the best way to do it is to sort of manufacture our own audio system. It's actually funny, a couple of places that we've been have actually realized, wow, we could do our audio better. And after we've left, they've either inquired about keeping this system or doing something better. Because again, I think everything we do it's visual and it's audio. Like, you can look at pretty pictures all day long, but when you have the right sound, it takes it to a whole nother level. And hockey has the right sounds. Like, to your point, you can sort of hear the skates, the checks, the boards, the guys just yelling. Whether you can make out what they're saying or not, there's that constant chatter, and it adds to the experience.
Okay, that's the sounds. Now we want to go to the monster. Take us to the monster, Steve.
let's go. I mean, this place is well known around the world. Green Monster is the place. Everybody wants to see this thing, right. and it's really cool. I've been here now probably 10 times.
Sitting there during the game?
There will be people on top of the Monster.
So the seats are available.
Yeah, I just think it's so cool. It's just so different.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, Steve, I don't think it's too controversial a take to say that right behind us here is the coolest hockey ticket anywhere outside of Game 7 Stanley Cup Final, with all due respect. The coolest hockey ticket of the year is right behind us here on top of the Green Monster.
Yeah, I mean, when we walked up here again and you see this vantage point, I don't know what's much better than this. This is pretty perfect. You're on top of the Green Monster, which just that alone, and then you look behind us and it's a perfect view of everything. So yeah, I'd agree with you. This is a pretty good ticket. I actually might spend some time up here during the game. This is cool.
You sure you know anybody who's going to let you stand up here?
Yeah, you know what? I'll stand here until they kick me out.
Now, what are you doing with this little hockey arena?
So, part of what we wanted to do in kind of coming up with the field design was connect baseball with hockey. And we thought, you know what? We've never really built a diamond, a baseball diamond. We actually looked at a few different designs that we thought would be interesting and cool. Actually, to replicate it, one of them was to try to replicate exactly where the baseball diamond was for Fenway and for the Red Sox, but we moved it to the outfield, and as you can see, it is absolutely, got the bases and the pitcher's mound, and we're going to do things throughout the game with youth kids, youth groups and youth teams from around this area, and play into baseball meets hockey, whether they're skating bases or we're going to do a little home run derby, other things that really lean into the baseball meets hockey thematic, which I think is got to be part of what we're going to do at Fenway Park.
Are you finding that cities that have both an NHL and MLB team are generally warm to this idea, that they look at this and say, hey, you know what? This works on the hockey side. Let's see if we can be involved.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, our original deal when we go to do these games is with the stadium, and most of the time the stadium is owned by or controlled by the baseball team. So you need their buy-in in order to do the game here. And we found at so many levels and in so many cities that there are so many hockey fans within the baseball organization. Yeah. So when they hear, oh man, you want to bring a Winter Classic to our baseball stadium, they're all in. And then it's just a matter of trying to come up with a few ideas that play into it. I think we're doing it more here than we've done before. We played in Minnesota last year. But it just lends itself to it, and we've gotten amazing cooperation from the Red Sox organization.
I always ask this question because I know the way your mind works. What else is on your radar?
So we have a few games that we need to announce to fill out next season. We're really excited about Heritage.
Yeah, so are we.
Yeah, I mean, Heritage is going to be great. Battle of Alberta. We still have to announce an All-Star game, and that's coming. We're very...
Any chance it could be in Jeff and mine's area code?
There's a chance, sure. There's a chance for everything. There's a chance we could be playing on Mars. There's a chance that could be, a possibility. We're right now in the process of completing our deals as to where that might be. And then we also have an outdoor game that we do want to do another outdoor game.
A stadium series.
A stadium series game. And that would be in February after All-Star. And then we're looking, World Cup of Hockey, obviously postponed. That's very much on the horizon. And, we are keeping that sort of on the table. And then, drafts and award shows and just other events. Like, what's the next event that we could do, whether it's, involving our teams, alumni, player, just keep on celebrating hockey every which way we can.
That stadium series next year, are you thinking somewhere you haven't gone yet?
So among, and I'm being really open with you, among the possibilities, because we aren't in a place right now where we know where we're going. Among the possibilities, yes, doing something in a place that we haven't gone, and even if we go back to a city that we've been, we definitely want to go to a place that we haven't been. So there won't be a Fenway repeat.
Yes.
We're looking at a few possibilities. We really, and admittedly, right after Winter Classic, we are hitting the road because we need to make some quick decisions. We had a direction that we were going in that kind of went sideways. And that's kind of made us start over again. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we're a little delayed, but we feel pretty confident given a very small group of possibilities that we'll make a pretty quick decision and we'll announce soon.
Okay, Jeff, here's my final one.
Okay.
Is this rumor of a dunk tank at the All-Star game true?
It is not, I am here to tell you it is not a rumor. I am here to tell you that you are completely accurate, and whoever is feeding you information is pretty incredible. So we're going to do outdoor events as we have done at other All-Stars, actually last year. And we knew we wanted to do something that would feed to the Fort Lauderdale, the beach, the sun. Looked at a lot of different ideas. We're going to actually do 2 events. And then a third event, which I've mentioned, might involve an animal or two that's very synonymous and well-known in Florida. I'm not going to say anything else because last time you guys got me in trouble. You got me in trouble. So one of the events is an event on the beach that will be pretty cool. It combines accuracy shooting and getting wet. And therefore, a dunk tank, which I think will be a lot of fun, is a part of our event on the beach. And actually, our other event, which I think is going to also be a lot of fun, obviously Florida known for another sport, that's golf. Mm-hmm. Yep. And we're going to combine hockey and golf in a way that you've never seen before. There's a very famous island hole.
Yes.
And we're gonna play hockey golf. We're gonna play hockey golf, and I'll leave.
Is there a Happy Gilmore theme? Happy Gilmore inspired?
Very well could be. Yes. By the time it's done, I think the players will really have a lot of fun. We're gonna make it difficult, yet they'll get a laugh or two. And in the end of the day, we might find their puck or their ball, depending on where they're hitting from, in the drink. So we got 2 events that involve water in some ways. But again, we want to have some fun. Yeah, but at the same time, it's a skills competition. And we think in both the events that we're going to do outside, it really does test these guys' skills. That's always something that we put first and foremost. But that's coming up at the end of January.
Okay, here's my last one. Whether it's minor pro, whether it's junior hockey, whether it's the women's game, my son who plays in the OMHA in Ontario, one of the teams, they do an outdoor game that's a regular season game as well. When you look at the effect, going back to that Buffalo-Pittsburgh, I know you weren't with the league then, but when you look at from there to now, what's the effect of these outdoor games been on capital H hockey?
These games are obviously important to keep. I look at these games as something that not only is great for hockey, but it's a sporting event. It's an event, and where everybody wants some attention or wants to let other people see what you do and how great your sport is. These are the kind of games that gain attention. And, whether you have watched every hockey game at, every hour of the day, or you've never watched a hockey game, you might tune into this because it's so unique and it's so different. We've been in Boston now for 2 weeks, and I can't tell you how many people just talking about Winter Classic, and it really gets you excited because that you're doing something that actually is gaining attention. And that's what these games do. They sort of stand above a regular season game. Nothing wrong with regular season games, but you need to do things throughout the regular season to make it special. And I do think these games are special.
This is great. Good luck. Thanks so much for this, Steve, as always.
No, thank you guys.
Just a little bit of trouble this time.